On this episode of Geek Dad Life, we're going to review the new Ghostbusters Plasma series Spengler's Neutrona wand by Hasbro. Hey everybody, and welcome to Geek Dad Life. It's your host, Jay Glaffelter here. 2020 began with so much promise for us Ghostbusters fans. We had a new movie on the horizon, and Hasbro at New York Toy Fair in February unveiled a whole bunch of new toys and action figures, the most that we've seen for Ghostbusters since the 80s. Unfortunately, shortly after that toy fair, a global pandemic derailed most everyone's plans for anything this year, including delaying the release of Ghostbusters Afterlife to March of 2021. And while some of that great product that we saw at Toy Fair has been pushed back as well into 2021, we actually got most of it with the Ghostbusters Plasma series hitting retail, as well as Hasbro's Kenner Classics toy line. Even some of the delayed Afterlife figures have been accidentally sent to toy retailers. The last thing unveiled at the 2020 New York Fair was Hasbro's first foray into creating a Ghostbusters prop replica, and that was Spengler's Neutrona wand. It's unveiling side by side with an actual prop from Ghostbusters Afterlife, with both Ivan and Jason Reitman holding the original prop as well as this new prop replica, was a statement to Ghostbusters fans that Hasbro is going all the way for their Ghostbusters toy line. Pre-orders for Spengler's Neutrona wand went up right after that panel at New York Toy Fair, and now they have finally started to arrive at retailers and for the people that pre-order them on Hasbro Pulse. This is a bold step for Hasbro, with Mattel already making fantastic prop replicas through their MattyCollector.com website. So let's check out how good of a job they did on their first ever Ghostbusters prop replica. Looking at the packaging, it echoes a lot of the same design elements that we've already seen in Hasbro's Plasma series line. Underneath that band, we kind of see a replication of a metal locker that we would presume holds the Spengler's Neutrona wand. This is a different design choice than we saw with the Matty Collector, which made it seem more like a shipper, a wooden box, that maybe they were sending the equipment to other potential Ghostbusters. This one is what you would assume is Spengler's personal locker for his Neutrona wand. I don't think any one is better than the other. They're different takes and different ways to tell the story for these Neutrona wands. Opening up the packaging reveals a rather simple insert system inside the box that holds the Neutrona wand in place. It's really easy to take out, and to also take out the different pieces that create the stand. Taking the Neutrona wand out of the box, it's quick and easy to feel and see that they've really done a fantastic job on this prop replica. It does feel a little bit lighter and honestly a little bit more ergonomic than the Matty Collector Neutrona wand. I think a lot of that can be attributed to the adaptations that Spengler did on this Neutrona wand. I really like the wooden handle. That feels more comfortable in hand. And honestly, on first glance, I thought the tape looked kind of, less than ideal when they showed it at Toy Fair. Actually, I really like it in hand. It makes the back grip for what would be your right hand that much more comfortable when you're holding it. So these adaptations I really like in terms of just, holding and using this Neutrona wand. Now, the plastic does feel, a little bit thinner, a little bit less quality than we saw on the Matty Collector prop, but I do think it's because it's a bit of a slimmer profile in the front part of the wand as well as the back handle, which again I think adds to the more ergonomic feel of this Neutrona wand versus the Matty Collector version. Also, from what I'm seeing, that middle section with a lot of the switches and light components is a bit bigger than the Matty Collector version. Overall, this thing looks more accurate to the film prop than I would say the Matty Collector version was. The only concern I do have with the build of this Neutrona wand is that front wooden handle section of the wand. It actually feels like it could break if you're kind of holding it too much or putting too much pressure or weight on it. Now, I don't know if that'll actually happen, but it's just something to be aware of, to not overdo it when you're using it, you know, cosplaying or maybe letting your kids play with it like I do. And while the plastic feels cheaper than the Matty Collector version, I actually like all of the metal appointments and switches and knobs better than the Matty one. It actually feels more real, like switches that the Ghostbusters would use on their proton packs. They feel more industrial and like they can stand the test of time better than the Matty Collector version. They've done a great job with the wash and the paint applications to this wand. It's supposed to be a lot more worn. It's supposed to have like 35 years of wear on this Neutrona wand, as said by Jason Reitman at that Toy Fair panel. I really like the change in where the battery compartment is compared to the Matty Collector one. It is in the handle. It's very easy to unscrew the back cap and put 3 AA batteries in that little compartment and slide it back in, and it's that easy. It's super simple. With the Matty Collector one, it was you had to screw or unscrew the bottom middle section of the Neutrona wand, which was a lot more work, a lot more effort, especially if you wanted to take the batteries out while you weren't using it or displaying it or storing it. That was a lot more effort. I really dig the placement of the batteries in the handle versus the middle section. I think it also distributes the weight pretty well, where it's, you know, right on your right hand generally, and if you're right-handed, that's usually a stronger hand, so I think the weight distribution works better in the handle versus the middle section of the Neutrona wand, which already has a lot of electronic and LED components, which probably adds to that weight as well. The metal V hook is larger and longer than the Matty Collector one, and I think larger than most prop replicas would have, but I think it would still work just fine, even though I do not have a prop replica to try it out on. Hasbro also added a hook so that you can hoister your Neutrona wand on your belt. Once you have those 3 AA batteries installed, you now can actually turn this bad boy on. So there are 3 mini toggle switches that you have to turn on in order to activate the Neutrona stream. The switch to extend the Neutrona wand is more accurate to the film. It's just a kind of catch and release switch that you pull towards you, which will then release the extension to the Neutrona wand. You do have to put some force into that when you're pushing it back in. At first, I thought mine didn't work because it wouldn't actually catch onto the latch. But once you put a little bit more force behind it, you don't want to like slam it in there, but put a little bit more force behind it, and then it will lock into place and then be able to be released with that green lever. And the last stop in using this Neutrona wand is the Intensify button. It's actually just a little black button that you press down to throw your Neutrona stream. Now, on the top of the Neutrona wand, there's actually a little knob there that you can increase and decrease the intensity of the beam. Now, it'll actually increase the vibration that you feel and lower it, and it'll also raise and lower the intensity indicator, kind of orange gauge on the right-hand side of the Neutrona wand. 2 things of note: this actually adapts some things from the video game here, where if you hold it down for too long and shoot your stream for too long, it will overheat and it'll completely shut down the Neutrona wand, and it'll require you to completely repeat the toggle switch sequence to get it back online. The same thing will happen if you leave it idle for too long, which I assume is a battery saving feature. It'll just shut down, and you'll have to kind of turn off the switches and then turn them back on to reactivate the wand. Another feature that they brought over from the video game, and it just really is a lot of fun, is the ability to switch to the different types of beams and streams and slimes that the packs were upgraded to in Ghostbusters, the video game. The folks at Hasbro really cleverly adapted it into this little top hat light that is kind of used as a button, and then when you click on it, it changes to the different types of beams, streams, and slime. So when you turn it on, you have the classic Neutrona stream that comes out of the pack, just like in the first 2 films. If you click on that button again, it turns green, and then it has the slime effect that was featured in the Mark II slime blower that was an addition to the Proton Pack in the Ghostbusters video game. When you click on that button again, you get the blue of the stasis stream. Now, it's not a continuous stream, just like the video game. When you click it, it just sends out a short burst, which is meant to kind of freeze up and maybe blow up some of the lesser ghosts in the game. The last option is the last one that we were given in the video game. That's the Meson Collider, which is in orange type glow. And I think you can also use your imagination, kind of maybe think it's the boson darts as well, which is a favorite of mine from the game. All in all, I think this is a fantastic feature add when comparing it to the Matty Collector weapon. And also, I wonder if this is maybe a clue, maybe this will be seen in the film as well. I thought it was a really neat gameplay addition to Ghostbusters, the video game. Add a lot of cool different ways to bust ghosts and to interact in the game. So it'd be really cool if those features were also in the film. But even if they're not, I think it adds so much play value and cosplay value to this Neutrona wand that really sets this one apart for me in my eyes to the Matty Collector one. Another great feature add is an adapter to be able to attach this to your home prop replica proton pack, or maybe a future one that Hasbro will release. It's an adapter that gets attached to the back end of the handle where the batteries go into, and it has the threads to be able to attach your own hose to, or again, hopefully one that Hasbro will make down the line. It's a simple and low lift add to this item, but it really goes a long way in adding the value for what you're getting with Spengler's Neutrona wand. The only disappointment I truly have with this set is the stand. When we saw it at Toy Fair, it looked really cool. It looked like it would do the job of holding up this Neutrona wand, but in hand, it's really cheap and flimsy plastic. I mean, already after a couple of days of it sitting on the stand, it's kind of leaning towards one direction. So I really think this could have been solved by having a thicker, stronger plastic. It's kind of a rubbery plastic, and it's a kind of really thin handles that are holding up the Neutrona wand. And while this wand isn't all that heavy, it really is already kind of warping the stand that it came with. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we didn't buy this for the stand, but if I had to really gripe on anything, it would be this kind of very light plastic stand that they included with this Neutrona wand. So it was a tall order for Hasbro to come out and make props right off the bat for their Ghostbusters line, especially when Matty Collector did a really great job with their PKE meter, ecto goggles, and their own Neutrona wand. And I think they've really done and matched, if not exceeded in some areas, on their own Neutrona wand, Spengler's Neutrona wand from the new Ghostbusters Afterlife film. It has all the features and play value that you would want out of a prop replica, and it really looks fantastic, either sitting on a shelf or maybe on your own proton pack. And then we gotta talk about the price as well. I mean, this thing is under $100 at full retail price at $99, but a lot of retailers are selling this under that. I've seen some for $79, and maybe it'll come down even more. So really, your value for money here is huge. I think, when you're comparing it to the Matty Collector prop, which original retail is around $150, and now in the secondary market, much higher than that. I think the Spengler's Neutrona wand from Hasbro's Ghostbusters Plasma series absolutely gets the Geek Dad Life buy rating. Definitely check out some of my other reviews from Hasbro's Ghostbusters toy line. I have a full playlist for all of the Plasma series figures, as well as a playlist for the full Kenner Classics line, including comparing it to a mint on-card example of that first Peter Venkman figure. And as always, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and click on that bell icon to be notified when the latest episode of Geek Dad Life drops. We'll see you all next time. Hasta luego, and goodbye.